Here's going to be my 5-step process for graphing the cosecant function. The first thing is to replace cosecant with sine. Now, the reason why I do this is because cosecant and sine are reciprocal functions of each other. So if we can identify what the graph of sine is going to look like, which we're more familiar with, it's really easy to go ahead and graph cosecant from there. The next thing is going to identify the parts. Now, remember, when we're dealing with sine, and hopefully you have a lot of practice with sine, we want to identify the amplitude, the period, the phase shift, the vertical transformations. So a lot of times we're going to have transformations. Just make sure you identify, write them down on a sheet of paper, so therefore you can quickly remember them, but then also apply them correctly. Now, number 3 is going to be actually graphing the graph sine. Again, sine and cosecant are related to each other. They're reciprocal functions. So whenever we identify these parts, we now need to apply them on a sheet of paper and see exactly what the graph is going to look like. Step number 4 is going to be graphing cosecant. Now, the cool thing is, once you have identified where sine is, wherever there was an x-intercept, that is going to be an undefined value for cosecant. So what that means is now you're going to have a vertical asymptote there. Wherever there was a maximum or a minimum, those are also going to be points on the cosecant graph. So a little bit of practice of working from sine to cosecant, and you'll get this down pat. Step number 5 is erase sine. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing worse than I'd have students on a test. They would follow this exact same process, and then they would leave the sine graph still on the graph. Ladies and gentlemen, we're graphing cosecant, right? So yes, I want you to use sine as an aid. Yes, I want you to sometimes use multiple versions of sine so you can see how the transformations work. But please, for the love of mathematics, when you're done using that as an aid, erase it, because the only thing I want to see on your sheet of paper is a graph of cosecant.